Hello all, welcome to my channel Fundamentals of Civil Services Exam. I hope you have been following my videos regularly. Today we'll be discussing disaster management and its syllabus. So before diving into the topic, I would like to shed light on significance of disaster management in governance. As you know that a public administrator is entrusted with multiple duties and disaster management is one of those. So therefore, as a future administrators, we have to understand the disaster management in a comprehensive way in order to provide good governance to our people. So right, coming into the topic, what is disaster and what is disaster management? So before answering these two questions, I would like to discuss natural hazard, because there is a connection between disaster and natural hazard. So what is a natural hazard? Natural hazard is a natural phenomenon or a natural event which might cause damage to human life. So it is called as a natural hazard. Then what is a disaster? When natural hazard impacts the human life and the property is called as a natural disaster. That means, for example, if a natural hazard occurs in uninhabited areas, then it won't be called as a natural disaster. If natural disaster occurs in densely populated areas or habitable zones, then it is called as a natural disasters. So that is the difference between natural hazard and natural disaster. Then what is disaster management? So disaster management means disaster risk reduction and capacity building, prevention and mitigation. So that means the measures which are to be taken in order to reduce the impact of the disaster is called as a disaster management. So under this disaster management subject, we will discuss types of disasters and vulnerability profile of India, disaster management cycle, Sendai framework, disaster management in India, and the Disaster Management Act of 2005, and some case studies of recent disasters. So dear viewers, I hope you understood the importance of disaster management for a public administrator. So I would like to show you the disaster map of India so that you will get a better idea about the regions which are prone to different types of disasters in India. So if you look at the map, the regions which are near to the water bodies or seas, they are prone to cyclones. And the regions which are near to the desert areas, they are prone to sandstorms and heat waves. And the regions which are located in the Himalayan mountain ranges, near to the Himalayan mountain ranges, are prone to earthquakes. And these yellow patches indicates the drought-prone regions of India. So this map shows the different areas which are vulnerable to different types of disasters. So by understanding the hazardous map of India, we can easily plan different measures to reduce the risk of the disaster. So as far as the definition of the disaster is concerned, disaster means a calamity or a catastrophe that can cause huge loss of life and property is called as a disaster. Then, dear viewers, prior to 1994, there was no comprehensive methodology or policy to implement disaster management efficiently and effectively. That means the main focus was on rescue operations during and after the disaster. But in 1994 and 1995, the countries across the world, they sat together and they started thinking about creating a comprehensive mechanism or policy to make disaster management efficient and effective. And this summit was held in Yokohama city of Japan, and a declaration was brought by all the countries. So that declaration is called as Yokohama Declaration. So the main agenda of Yokohama Declaration is to create a comprehensive framework for effective and efficient disaster management. So according to that Yokohama Declaration, two concepts are introduced. One is disaster management cycle and disaster risk reduction. So this disaster risk reduction and disaster management cycle, these two things comprises all the measures, all the required measures to tackle the different types of disasters. And we are going to discuss about these two methods or concepts which are introduced by Yokohama Declaration in our coming class. So dear viewers, I hope you understood about what is disaster and what is natural hazard, and when the natural hazard is called as a natural disaster, and how significant and important the disaster management in public administration. So if you like my video, please do subscribe and share it. Thank you very much.